Hey guys, CR Classics here, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a Q&A. I'm going to be answering some of the questions you guys sent in via Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, as I've had quite a few. Some of these questions I did answer on the live stream on Instagram Live that I did with Kieran, aka Molly the MGB GT, and we answered a few of your questions. I think we had a few people watching live, which was brilliant, really good. So thank you to everyone who got involved with that. That was great fun to do, and we might be doing one again sometime soon. If you guys would like to see that, please let me know. But yeah, this is going to be for people who haven't seen that live stream that we did, and who want to know a little bit more about me. So I'll be answering your questions. And I just want to quickly start with saying a big thank you to James from JM on Cars on YouTube for featuring me and my little Lotus on his channel yesterday. That's a massive thing for me, and he really didn't have to do it. So thank you to him, and I've also gained a couple of new people as well come over to and subscribe to my YouTube channel from him. So hello to all you new people, thank you for subscribing, and thank you so much to James, because I've watched you from your earliest videos when you were picking up your Evora, right up until now, when you've grown into one of the most knowledgeable car guys on YouTube in my opinion, and all your videos are such a high quality, and you inspire me to make my videos better, and it's a true honour to feature on your channel. So thank you so much for that, guys. Let's get on to the video. So our first question comes from MCG MGB, and it is: do you prefer restoring, detailing or driving classics? Well, that's a very good question, because with the two MGs I had before, that was more detailing and driving. With this one is my first light restoration, not full restoration obviously, but light restoration, so I've sort of dipped my toes into the world of proper restorations of cars. And in my opinion, my best drive in this car was when I went to pick it up from the workshop after doing the restoration on the rear suspension of the car, and driving it that 5 miles from the workshop to home after doing that work, because you can really see in your head how much better the car looks underneath, and knowing that you've done it yourself, you know it's done to a standard that you're happy with, and you know no corners have been cut. And obviously driving the car into the workshop and driving it out again, you know how it felt before and after. So I can notice that it felt a lot tighter at the back when I was driving it afterwards, and when you went over a little bump, it was really hard before, and it's a little bit softer now, and it absorbs it a little bit more now. So that's a lot better. So I'd say restoration in my opinion, and then driving the car. Obviously driving the car is always the best bit, because it's the treat after everything, after all the work you've done. It all leads up to driving the car, doesn't it? But I'd say restoring the car is my favourite part of it. Question number 2 is from Nicholas Mouse, and it is: what's the more reliable, the MGs or the Lotus? And that's a very good question. The only thing the MG did, the second MG, the green MG, Molly the MGB GT, which Kieran now owns, was every now and then the horn, the little spring behind the horn, would spring out in your face, which I'm not sure what the fault there was. We did try and fix it a few times, but after you press the horn you give it 5 or 10 seconds and it'd spring back out. But that's not a mechanical failure, that doesn't make it unreliable, that just gives it a bit of a personality. And with the Lotus, the only time that's ever really let us down was when we first got the car really, and one of the first times we took it out on the road, not just for a test run, actually on the road. The previous owner hadn't, when they had the wheels diamond cut, when they put them back on, they put the collars that go in between the spinner and the wheel, they put that in the wrong way, so we were essentially running around on loose wheels, and the back right driver's side back wheel it had come very loose, and the wheel was all scored and scored itself inside, and sort of nearly came loose, as in coming loose from the car and rolling away, and that would have really left us in a lot of trouble, but it didn't. It came just on the edge, and we had to be towed home, or put on a recovery vehicle and brought home. But once again, that wasn't the car's fault. That was the previous owner or the mechanics who reassembled the car, putting the collars in the wrong way. So apart from that, it hasn't really let us down, touch wood. But then we haven't really taken it on that many long trips or anything like that, because it's been being restored since I've had it, really. But this summer, I'm sure it will let us down once or twice. I know she won't like me saying that, but I'm expecting her to, because we're hoping to take her to a lot more big shows, and we're hoping to take her up to Hethel, up to the Lotus factory, up to her home eventually, which will be amazing. And that's quite a trek from where we are in Herefordshire, so it'll be a bit of a challenge, but I have got a lot of faith. But I can't really choose which is the most unreliable, because they were all very good cars to me, and they never really let me down. So my next question is from Retrolicious, and it is: I've read a huge amount of advice saying that keeping a Lotus under a cover is bad, and then he's just put worried ? The two covers that I've got, one of them's an indoor cover which I had on the car since I got it, because it was in a garage. It was in a very well sealed garage in the old house that we were in, but when we moved I got a Storm Shield Plus outdoor cover from Specialized Covers, and that was the first thing I asked them, because I'd heard very similar things on the Lotus forum saying that water sits in between the body and the cover for longer than it usually would when it's under some covers, which is obviously bad for the fiberglass, bad for the paint, bad for the car. But I was assured when I bought the cover that they'd never had anything like that with any of their covers. And since I've had the cover, I'm very happy to say that I haven't even seen any evidence of that whatsoever. And we had some pretty rough weather in the winter when the cover was frozen, and it still protected the car, and yeah, didn't leave any moisture underneath the cover at all, really, and dries very quick, and I haven't had any blemishes off the cover or any damage to the car or anything even close to that whatsoever. So once again, guys, you know how I feel about covers. I highly recommend Specialized Covers. They are the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. I've had an indoor and an outdoor, and they've both been just as high a standard, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. Another question I had was, how do you afford to own and keep a Lotus? This could be a whole video, really, because I get asked this quite a lot, because of the way it looks, really. I have touched on it on the Tesla a little bit, about how a 21-year-old owns a car like this, who his dad hasn't just bought for him or something like that, because that's usually the first thing that people think when we go to shows and stuff. They just think it's my dad's car or something like that, which it's not. It's fully mine, it's in my name. I bought it with all my own money and everything. But that's a very good question, and I'm very, very happy to do a video about all the cars that I've owned and how I've got to this, and tell you exactly how much I've spent on each car, what I bought it for, what I sold it for, and talk you through the whole sort of journey that I've been on, the financial journey that I've been on to be able to own this car. So if you'd like to see that video, please put it in a comment or message me or like this video. And I'll definitely do it, maybe as the next video I do, as that could be very interesting for you guys, I think, because it is definitely a question I get a hell of a lot, so I'd be very happy to answer it and put it out there. So yeah, make sure you put that in a comment, guys, because it's a bit too long to go into in this video. I want to keep this quite short and quite factual. So we'll move on to the next question. So the big question that I've got to answer, really, is a question that I had asked by lots of you, so I'm not going to name who asked it, because I'd be listing off 15-20 people, but it was, would I sell the car or swap it, and what cars would I swap it for if someone just offered me a straight swap. Now this is usually it'd be quite an easy question with the MGs. It would be quite an easy question because I'd owned them for such a short amount of time. and I wasn't as invested as though in those cars as I am in this one. This one I've spent days and days and actually weeks underneath it, really working hard on it, and actually doing some restoration work on it. With the MGs I didn't do that, and therefore I wasn't as emotionally attached to them. But this car, for a start, it's a Lotus, which was always a dream of mine, to own a car with a Lotus badge on it. Always has been, always will, to own a new Lotus, or as many Lotuses as physically possible. So would I ever swap it for anything? Well, I think never say never. There are cars out there that I would like to own, and I'd like to always keep this channel evolving into different things and keeping you guys entertained with new and exciting journeys that we're going to undertake. For example, I'm in the process of planning quite an exciting series that I'm going to be doing, buying a everyday driver, or quite an exciting everyday driver, which will be coming as soon as I can get out in the world, really, as soon as all this is over. So that's something quite exciting to look forward to. As far as these classic cars goes, yes, the car I would consider swapping this one for, or if one came up that I could buy and do some work on, would be the Baby Elan, so the smaller two-seater version of this. So I mean, there's a hell of a lot of similarities. This was based on that. The Sprint's had the same engine as this. It's very, very similar, but they're very, very different money. But I think that would be the logical upgrade from this, really. Moving into something from the 80s and 90s, or even the Elise or something, would be a completely different switch. And even I have considered a XL or an Elite, or an Eclat or something like that. But the two-seater Elan is definitely something that I'd consider going on a little adventure with. But for now, there's a certain standard I want to get this car to, and there's a certain amount of enjoyment I want to get out of this car before I even contemplate selling it or swapping it for anything. And I'm not at that stage yet, and I'm not going to be for some time. I'm not going to say when, but I think you'll all know when I know this is done. You'll see that it's done, and you'll know what I mean when I say I'm happy with that and that's finished. But until then, I'm going to keep entertaining you guys with this car, and I haven't really had it that long. I've had it just over a year, really, so you know, not that long compared to some of these Lotus owners. So yeah, great question. Another slightly different question is, what is my dream supercar? So supercar, I presume you mean modern supercar, as modern cars isn't really something that I've touched on that much on this channel, but let's go for it. Despite what some people may say about them, and I know a lot of people out there have a lot more experience than me. The experience I have with McLaren is I've seen a few. I have been in one, maybe, I think, not driven, but been in one. And I've seen many reviews on the internet, and from Top Gear, the likes of that. But ever since I heard of the brand McLaren, I've wanted one, and ever since I've seen a car, I've dreamed about having one. So a McLaren, something like a 720S, or a 570, something like that, or even an MP4, the early ones I'll see that sells on eBay, as they are dropping quite a lot in price, as McLarens very often do. So yeah, probably a nice McLaren, yeah, a nice little MP4 would do me. Another quite good question about modern cars again is my dream new Lotus. So if I was getting a Lotus new from a dealer, what would I get? That's a good question. You may think I'm not that interested in modern Lotuses, but I am for sure. Mine would be an Exige Cup 430 in isotope green. I know that's very specific, but it's a spec and a colour that I've had my eye on for a long time. And if Lotus said we're going to give you a car, that would be the one I'd take all day, every day. So that is definitely my dream spec, a 430 Cup Exige in isotope green. Good question. So guys, that about wraps this video up. I want to say thank you to everyone who asked a question on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of that. I had loads come in. I've got plenty for another video, so I am sorry if your question didn't make it into this video. I wanted to keep it quite short and not drag anything out. But if you'd like to see another one of these, please let me know and I'll get the rest of the questions in that video. And if anyone else wants to ask any more, just fire them over and I'll get them in. And if anyone else has any ideas of any cool videos that I could do, please drop them in the comments and I'll make sure to do them, because I've got nothing but time at the moment, guys, so I'm here for your entertainment. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, all you new members out there. I'll try and keep you guys entertained over this tough period. Anything else you guys want me to do, drop it in the comments. But apart from that, guys, hope you're all staying well. This has been CR Classics, out.